a tweak here and a tweak there, and the orange and blue might have the right combination to get them back into the win column. Tonight, we get you set for Game 4 between the Oilers and the Golden Knights right here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show, live on location at the Canadian Ice House just outside of Rogers Place and the Ice District. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the pregame show. Tom Gazzola with you alongside Hernan Salas back at EST Global HQ. Like I mentioned, we're here at the Ice House. It's a little rainy out there, not that warm. And so a lot of people coming in here. They couldn't put out the rooftop patio because it was raining and cold. The people had to come inside. So it's going to be packed, already getting busy here inside the Ice House. Huge shout out to the staff, Tian and Nikki and the entire crew here. Tim, fantastic as always. A great spot, lots of great game day specials to take advantage of. We have a fantastic show for you on the way. Matt Cassian with Game Changers, of course, and then we're going to hear from Ken Belke from Sin Bin Vegas once again to give us the scoop on the Golden Knights. And Ryan Holt, Bakersfield Condors play-by-play man, is here at Edmonton, and he's actually here at the Ice House. He loves those steak bites. Ken, like the chicken tendies are good? Oh, yeah, he likes those tendies. Dusty Nielsen would be proud. The boys are ready to go, and they will be hopping on as well as we get you set for what should be another exciting and entertaining game tonight. Of course, GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to ejectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. We want to hear from you as well. Text us 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat. A couple of the nasties are already here. Sarah is here. VR Montenegro is here, and a few more on their way. All right, let's check in with Hernan Salas back at EST Global HQ. Nanso, I'm in my little nook. Everything is good. Nobody can bother me. I'm protected from people coming. What's going on here? Got the on-air light going. Where's the bathroom? Not tonight. Not tonight. Okay? How's everything going back at you? Not up in this, for sakes. I see you shaved. Is that because of the loss? What's going on here?
No, it was a mistake.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, now I look like a
What happened?
But it's okay.
You look good.
Wrong
Youthful.
setting. Wrong setting, and now, I look like, I don't like it, so it is what it is. Maybe it's the start of a new streak for the Oilers, so let's go with that.
Maybe.
And, looking forward to the game. Don't know what to expect, to be honest with you. Gage and I were laughing on EST Afternoons about, like, we almost rather the Oilers down 2-0 early. Like, seriously. Like,
why?
It's just because they play better. It's like they know they got to come back. They know the next goal's probably kills. Well, probably not. But we were just laughing. We're like, it's almost like they're more comfortable losing than they are with the lead. So we'll see what happens. After a wild Saturday night, like, unreal. Like, even like going out Sunday and, being with family and friends and all that.
Yeah.
Everybody, no one, that's all anything can talk about. How did that happen with .04 left on the clock? So definitely got a lot of people talking, and it was bizarre, man. I could not believe it.
It was wild, that's for sure. It's sad that it ended that way, and it stunned people. And I know talking to some folks, they were just like, yeah, people just didn't leave their seat at the rink because they needed to collect themselves and figure out what the hell just happened. I get it, because that was a ridiculous way to lose a game, an important game, a game where you put yourself in a position to potentially go up 3-0 in this series, and you blew it, and you totally blew it in the most remarkable way possible. So we'll see if the Oilers, and you know what, Hernan, like, it's easy to dwell and to be negative about it, but I'm looking at it like maybe the Oilers were due for one of these, right? Obviously, the way it happened was heartbreaking, gut-wrenching, however you want to describe it. But maybe they were due for a wake-up call. And I'm looking at it as a wake-up call. Like, that's why I said a tweak here, a tweak there. We're going to see some tweaks to the lineup tonight. And it's a reminder that you're playing Vegas. Then they're the best team in the Pacific Division in the regular season.
Yeah.
They are 2 years removed from winning a Stanley Cup championship. They're good. And they're going to beat you if you make mistakes. And you're making mistakes at critical times. You got bit in the butt. So learn your lesson.
Point. It's a great point because it's 6 wins in a row, Tom, and they probably got away with a few wins they probably didn't deserve. Let's be honest, like Game 2 in this series. So for me, it's one of those things where, that's probably like a good kick in the pants saying, guys, we can't keep playing this way. We can't keep showing up for 15 minutes and have stretches of good hockey and not play well defensively, not have the special teams rolling. Well, it is a good kick in the pants, I think.
Absolutely.
And that's why I'm very intrigued. I'm very intrigued to see what kind of Oiler team shows up because, as bad as they were last game, Tom, they're the better team the first 13 minutes and had a 2-0 lead.
Yes.
What happened after that? I don't know. Like, it seems like Vegas got that first goal and it all snowballed after that, right?
It only took 54 seconds for them to get the second one.
Yeah. Yes, that's another good point. It's but that's what I mean. Like, they allow the 2-1, but then it just completely falls off. Like, they don't follow it up with a good shift. They let them get back in it 50 seconds later. It's just ridiculous. Like, at this point, this team's got to be better. And listen, Tom, we got a lot of texts in today, and people were like, maybe this is a hot take, and I don't think it is a hot take. They're like, McDavid and Draisaitl have to be better. And I agree. And listen, I know they're scoring, but they got to be better in their own zone. Enough with the turnovers. And yes, I know they're the greatest players on the planet, and they're going to turn the puck over because they always have it. But it's the turnovers that Dry had in that game early. That can't happen, Tom, because they led to 2 goals.
No, right. Okay, speaking of that, I'm glad you brought it up, Nan. So this is call it a pre-question of the night question. Okay,
sure.
And I'm curious to hear what you think. I want to hear what people watching and listening think about this. It was suggested to me by someone outside the organization working for another team that when Draisaitl and McDavid are paired together, Leon can get a little bit too comfortable.
Yeah.
And just let Connor do a lot of the work. And he doesn't have that edge to his game, that sharpness. So them, and we're going to get to the lineups too as well, them being separated kind of puts the onus back on Leon to pick it up and play a sharper game, more responsible, more hustle and effort. Because after a prolonged period of time with Connor, he kind of falls into a groove, right? So maybe this is a chance, again, for a little tweak and a reset, and it wakes Leon up, especially. That was his worst game in a long time. Okay?
Oh, for sure.
And it was reiterated to me by someone else today that he's healthy. So, we can't even use the nicked up excuse. Sure, bumps and bruises like everybody else, but nothing more than that. The guy's healthy. He just needs to play better, and here's a chance for him to go on his own line and play a little bit better.
And what was interesting last game, too, was that Knoblauch went away from them together. He split them up.
Good. Yeah.
And then in the last 4 minutes, of course, he's going to load up. But again, it was brought up, Tom. Cass brought it up early in the LA series. They were tired, and they went for the kill, and it cost them. It was similar last game. They were dead tired. Watch them coming back. Like it's.
Did they? Well, they came back super late, and then Leon scored on him on his own net.
Yes. So again, like you have enough. Like you have Kane, you have Hyman, you have Nuge. Like you have enough players to play those guys. Let's say from the 3-minute mark on, and then in the last minute and a half, you put out the big boys if you want.
Yeah.
But they can't be playing 4 minutes straight. Like they're human, man. Like they're gonna get tired. Like it's just natural for that to happen, but he just wants to go for the kill shot every time, and it's bit him twice. So now, in saying that, Knoblauch usually presses the right buttons. We'll see tonight, and I know you're going to get to it. Some lineup changes, and then you broke that Pickard's out for the series, so they're going to roll with Stuart Skinner. So we'll see how Stuart Skinner bounces back as well. This is an interesting game, not only to watch the Oilers as a team, but I want to see Stuart Skinner, how he handles this.
Yeah. If you didn't catch it, I tweeted it out earlier today. Some good news. Matthias Ekholm is skating. He has started skating, but I was told best case scenario is like weeks away, late third round, best case scenario. That would have to be everything healing perfectly, but a good sign nonetheless. And then the other thing is I've been told Calvin Pickard will not play in the rest of this series. That injury will keep him out of action for the rest of the series. Colin Delia has been brought up. Delia was enjoying his offseason. He was in Florida, and they said, well, we need reinforcements with another goalie here. Delia is a veteran guy, been in the NHL for chunks of his career, a lot of AHL time as well, is now one of the Black Aces and skating with the club. So Ollie Rodrigue will be the backup, but Delia has been brought up, and he's skating with the Black Aces. So there's your update when it comes to the lineup. Nats, you want to throw out the question of the night before I go into game rosters for tonight?
Yeah, so it's on the premise that this is actually going to happen, but I want to get the vibe from the nasty chat from our inbox 780-218-9999. I just want to get the feedback on Kasperi capping in, Victor Arvidsson out. Is that who you would have put in, and is that who you would have taken out? Because I was just joining Reed. I'll be honest, Tom. Arvidsson was not a guy I had coming out of this lineup.
Yeah,
but I don't know who else. Like, who else? You're not taking Podkolzin. He's been really good.
Right.
Like, I just don't know who else he could take, but I've liked what I've seen from Arvidsson. That fourth line has been really good. Mm-hmm. So and listen, I get why Kapanen's going in because he's fast. But a lot of people are like, why isn't Jeff Skinner in? So I guess we'll ask, are you good with Kapanen in and Arvidsson out? Tom, I guess we'll start with you.
I'll go for the question of the night. I'm indifferent towards Kapanen coming in. Probably kind of not the biggest fan of it.
Okay.
I get the argument for him. I understand the idea of wanting to switch things up and get a bit of a refresh, if you will. Sure. Let's see how it works, And I don't think it's going to be the be-all, end-all, but I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I don't hate it either. I guess I'm sitting on the fence, Hernan. Someone pushed me to one side or the other.
What about so that was on Kapanen. Are you okay with Arvidsson sitting out?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they want to get a heavier guy in there that can win puck battles along the boards and out-muscle guys, then I understand that rationale. Because Arvidsson's an itty-bitty guy and he kind of falls down a lot. Quite frankly, sometimes it's because he gets knocked over. Sometimes he just falls. We've learned that about him in the year he's been a member of the Oilers. So I understand it. I don't love it. Let's see if it works. That's how I look at it. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of with you on Kapanen. I listen. He's probably going to get on the PK a few shifts. He's faster. He's a bigger guy.
Yeah,
sure. Why not? Maybe it sparks the team. Who knows? I'm kind of indifferent too. Arvidsson, though, to me is the one. But again, I was thinking before jumping on air, and I was like, well, who else would come out? Like, it's not Brown, it's not Janmark, it's not Podkolzin.
It's not Henrique.
The only guy who can think it was either Trent Frederick or Arvidsson.
They're not taking Frederick out.
No, and that's what I mean, because the potential that he has to be a bleep disturber in this series, he can score, he can hit, right? Like, you don't want to take that guy out. So it's almost by default that it's Arvidsson.
I know. Oh, what disturber there?
Bleep.
There we go. Okay, let's get to the starting lineups and get those answers into the question of the night. What do you make of? You want me to say it, or do you want to say it?
It's up. What do you make of Kapanen in? Are you on board with that move, and are you on board with Arvidsson being the guy sitting out
there? There we go. All right, let us know your thoughts. 780-218-9999. Get to the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. All right, let's get to your starting lineups, brought to you by South Fort Chev. Buy now and save, 0% financing, OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s. If you haven't gotten your tires changed, you're melting your winters right now. If you mention that EST sent you, they will do it for you for $59.95 plus tax. And they're also giving a big discount on inspections when you get your tires changed. See dealer for details, www.southfortchev.com. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. Okay, this is how they skated this morning. We'll see if there's some tweaks or some deception from Chris Knoblauch. McDavid with Hyman and Perry. Draisaitl, different line, centering Nugent-Hopkins and Janmark. Okay. Henrique between Kane and Brown, and Frederick at center between Podkolzin and Kapanen. So Kapanen coming in for Arvidsson. Arvidsson, by the way, stayed out really late. Him and Jeff Skinner came off the ice super, super late. That is a big-time indicator that they are out. So on defense, Nurse with Bouchard, Wallman with Klingberg, Brett Kulak with Troy Stetcher in for Ty Emberson. For the Golden Knights, Jack Eichel with Ivan Barbashev and Mark Stone, who did skate. Ken, he's good to go. He's good to go, Ken says. Tomas Hertl with Pavel Dorofeev and Victor Olofsson. William Karlsson between Brett Howden and Riley Smith, the Misfits, or two-thirds of the Misfits. Then Nicholas Waugh with Tanner Pearson and Keegan Kolesar. Of course, Nicholas Waugh scored a goal last game, right? First one, he gets the party started for the Golden Knights. I remember thinking to myself, well, of course, he paid his $7,800. He's okay. Let him go. Braden McNabb with Shea Theodore, Noah Hannafin with Alex Pietrangelo, Nick Hague with Zach Whitecloud. That means Caden Korzak comes out. Your starting goalies for tonight, 26-year-old Stu Skinner, 0-3, 536 GAA, woof. 817 save percentage, double woof. 3 games played in the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. He has a 2-5 record all-time versus Vegas in the playoffs, 398 goals against average, 869 save percentage in the 7 games he's faced Vegas in the postseason. Then at the other end of the rink, it is Aiden Hill. The 28-year-old is 5-4 with the 314 GAA and 872 save percentage in 9 playoff games this year. He has a 4-3 record versus the Oilers in the postseason lifetime with a 286 GAA, 905 save percentage in 8 appearances. That takes us to the Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy injury report. As they say, Connor McDavid has a team of specialists around him, but you, bag of peas. So get the same locker room approach that's trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sports Medicine. Book your assessment today at www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. For the Oilers, Calvin Pickard, don't expect him at all for the rest of this series. Lower body, knee. Matthias Ekholm, leg issue. And like I said, he is skating now, which is good, but weeks before he is even at best considered to return to the lineup. Alec Regula also knee injury all season long. For the Golden Knights, Brandon Saad, day-to-day lower body. McNabb, you saw him play the other night, so he is good to go. That is your Advantage Sport Med and Physiotherapy injury report. All right, let's go inside the Oilers locker room and hear from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and then we're going to hear from Ken Belke from Sinbin Vegas on the other side of the Nuge interview.
They said you got up 2-1 with a chance to take a 3-1 lead at home. You guys probably would have taken that at the start of the series.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're in a great spot, and that's our focus tonight is getting this one at home. And obviously, a ton of fun always to play in front of this crowd. So they're going to get us amped up, and we're going to be fired up to get going tonight.
What do you have to do? Like, do you have to just clean up your game? Do you feel your best game is still there, kind of like Game 5 in LA, the one you had there?
I mean, I think that game we probably put everything together, which is it's a hard thing to ask for 60 minutes at this time of year. I think just because other teams push so hard and everybody's so good, but I think we've shown really good parts of our game so far. There's always going to be things that you want to get better, and little things happen during games. Everything happens so fast that you can keep improving on, but we're going to keep getting better, and we trust our game. We're confident in our game, and understand that when we bring it to the best of our ability, we're a hard team to beat.
Ryan, what did the team have to do to lock down the lead in this series?
Yeah, I mean it's the way it's been going. Obviously, I think not changing your game is kind of the big thing. It's hard to do because you do want to hold on a little bit, but you got to keep pushing and keep moving forward and keep that pressure on. But at the same time, I mean, that's we talk about ourselves as a desperate team and an experienced team that always is going to fight back and never give up. And obviously, they've had experience going as far as you can go, and they're a team that isn't going to quit either. And we understand that, we know that, so we got to be ready for pushes and find ways to handle that.
Did you guys talk since last game just about kind of game management, sort of managing different little moments and using your experience that way?
Yeah, definitely. Like I kind of just said, there's going to be swings in momentum and pushes from them, pushes from us, and it's about when they start to push and is finding ways to manage that. And sometimes you just got to simplify it with the puck and not try that extra little play and put a little more pressure on the forecheck and find ways to build games from that.
This isn't afraid to move things around, right? Searching things here and there. We're not sure what the line will end up looking like tonight, but can you just discuss all the different combinations that there have been through the year and the comfort level with whatever and whoever you're asked to go?
Yeah, I think because we've seen so many different combinations throughout the season that now at this time of year when you throw guys together, most of the guys have played together and seen each other and built some chemistry of some sort, so probably helps at this point of the year. And we got guys that can kind of play up and down the lineup and pick up different roles, and 12 guys that are ready to roll and want to help out any way they can.
If they don't have Rhinestone, how does that change the dynamic of their team?
I mean, yeah, it's obviously he's their leader, he's their captain. I mean, as far as like power play goes, he's great down low, and he's a threat down there. And but I mean, they're a good team, they're a deep team like us, and just because one guy's out doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be an easier night. So we got to prepare no matter who's in the lineup.
Nugent-Hopkins getting set for game number 4 between the Oilers and the Golden Knights. Edmonton, of course, looking to take a stranglehold of the series once again. And then the Golden Knights looking to bring it back to Vegas, even up as we welcome in Ken Belke from Sinbin Vegas. Once again, Ken, welcome back.
What's up?
Same old. Okay, let's start with one funny thing. Have you noticed the 0.04 or 0.4 billboards around Edmonton?
Yes. Parkway Tavern.
Tell us about Parkway Tavern. How'd they make this happen?
It's very similar to this place.
Oh, okay.
They have 1,000 beers on tap.
Delicious.
They need to be paying me, apparently.
Okay.
They're all over the city. They have a pregame show with the Golden Knights that they do there. My buddy does that, Ryan Wallace.
Yeah.
It's great.
We know Ryan. He comes on, yeah.
Great place to go watch a game, to go hang out. They got all the bar games there.
Yep.
It's a good place. What a move.
Very clever. I hope there's a response from an Edmonton-based establishment. Hello, Ice House. Hello, Brew House.
I mean, you're going to have to win.
Well, yes. The team has to win. That's true. Now, was it Parkway Tavern?
It is.
Do they have a animatronic moose?
They do not.
Okay.
There is not.
1-0 Ice House. Actually, 1-1.
Yeah. But if they did have a Conn Smythe trophy, it would have Jonathan Marchessault's name on it.
Would it have Connor McDavid's name on it, though?
Probably not. Probably not.
Fair enough.
It's hard to update it that quickly.
Right.
It's
a whole process.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
Out there, what is the water coming from the sky?
This is rain. We call it precipitation. I know it's not the same as the desert. You guys get monsoons, though. When it usually hits hard, doesn't it?
Well, I don't go outside.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I was walking here and it's all wet.
Yeah, what is this?
I did not enjoy it.
Photosynthesis occurs when rain comes.
Does it smell like something when you walk out of the rink through this little
skunky
tailgate party?
Is it a bit skunky?
Game? Wow.
There's a cannabis store right next door.
Boy, it was a lot.
Yeah. We like to enjoy in Alberta and indulge a little
skunky.
bit. Call it stress relief.
That you needed some of that after last game.
Oh my God, absolutely you did. Speaking of the last game, from a Vegas point of view, how do you look at that thing? Because that was wild, man.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's just such an awesome individual effort from William Karlsson.
Yes.
Like, he gets the puck in his own zone. He decides, I can skate this out myself. Then he gains the red line, throws it in, which effectively kills off the regulation for them.
Yep.
We're not giving one up once he gets it out. That alone was awesome. Then to check over his shoulder, to know his buddy's back there and make the play. And then Riley Smith did his thing. Like, I can't believe he took as long as he did. Can you imagine if he shot that thing into the empty net at 1 second pass? You look.
That would be tough.
That would have probably been better for Edmonton, I think.
It would definitely be better for Edmonton. Yeah. He did make a great play to a 50-goal score.
He did.
And that 50-goal score does
games.
What he does best, and he buries.
Why? That puck, first off, that puck was on the ice.
Yeah.
When I saw it live, I thought he fluttered it across and Draisaitl's just trying to poke it out. No, that thing's on the ice. Like, why is there no force? He just put his stick there to try and stop it, and then that's what happens. Like, we practice this. It goes right in. It's like, also, what is the ref doing?
I don't know.
What are you looking at? Like, we trust those guys to make calls the whole game. We expect those guys to use their eyes to see tripping, to see hooking, to see high sticks. This guy is right in front of the goal. The puck goes into the goal and out.
Yep.
All the players are like, that's a goal. And he's like, no, I don't. I'm pretty sure no. What?
In the review, he also said the call on the goal on the ice is a goal. I don't. You've covered this league for a long time, as the Golden Knights have been in the league, so you know. we talk about it throughout the season on our station. The bar for officiating in the NHL is quite low.
Well, here's the problem. It's the only profession in the sport where we don't look to improve.
I know.
There's no pipeline of guys coming up. I know there's the AHL, there's the ECHL,
yes,
but you don't see guys coming up that are 22-year-olds, 23-year-olds. How come there are 19-year-olds, Macklin Celebrini or Wyatt Johnston's dominating in Dallas? Like, how come all these young guys can come in and play the game? Scouts, coaches, GMs are getting younger.
Yep.
And meanwhile, the Zebras are all 60 and older and have done 2,000 hockey games. Like, if I go to one more game that they celebrate the 1,500th game of the ref and they have the little handshake line,
it always happens in Vegas for some reason.
Yeah,
okay.
And then everyone thinks it's rigged because the Vegas guys are shaking the guy's hand. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Well, they want to celebrate, so they send them to the most fun place to go and call a game, I guess.
That's fair. No rain.
No rain. Evidently not.
Which is nice.
If we had like an hour to just talk about the officials and what's going on, I've been told this. People are hard on refs, obviously, and there's no real incentive for kids to get into reffing, or they do and they don't like it. They don't like the abuse.
How could you?
How about that kid in Seattle gets pushed over by a parent earlier this year? And then the other thing they're trying to do now is recruit guys who are high-level junior hockey players,
skaters,
guys who played the game, and get them to get involved in ref. And they're fast-tracking those guys.
And can we
not
also,
always a good idea
have an off-ice official making calls? I don't know what we're waiting for.
We've got
4K TV. Can we use that, like, rather
and not
than
give them a 10-inch tablet?
Macaulay?
Yeah, well, he's calling the game tonight.
I'm aware.
Oh, yes. Ken Belke joining us now from Sin Bin Vegas. Okay, lineup notes for the Vegas Golden Knights. Mark Stone, it was weird. He didn't finish that game. People were wondering what the heck is going on with him. Give us the update there.
Yeah, so he goes down in the neutral zone. Cassidy did say that was the play he believes that happened on. At first, we thought Perry kneed him in the head.
Right.
On accident, of course. Right. Perry would never do such a thing.
No, he's not a worm.
But he turned out by the video, it looked like he didn't get him in the head. It looked like maybe more wrist or arm or forearm or something like that with the boot. So that's what we kind of thought. What's weird is they ruled him out fairly quickly.
Like, he played a couple shifts after, right?
Played 3 shifts afterwards. They gave up another goal. Then he played like a 30-second shift, which is rare for him. And then they rule him out in the middle of the second period. And my thought is like, all right, well, this game was effectively their season. Yep. If this game goes to overtime, double overtime, triple overtime, like, is Mark Stone going to play? So then 2 days later, or even the next day, Cassidy was like, yeah, we're pretty hopeful he's going to play. It seems to be looking okay. And then the next day he's there for morning skate, and away we go. And it's like, I just don't get it. Like, it's been a weird postseason. Guys going out with illness.
Thomas Hertel almost killing the equipment manager.
Did you see the outline today?
I saw you and Jesse running away after from getting the photo. I was like, what are they looking at?
Ooh. 5 stitches, for Mike Muir, the trainer.
Poor guy,
What do you think? Rolex is
some like sort of expensive
Lambo?
Gift. Yeah, some sort of expensive gift without
I was
question.
thinking maybe laundry. Like a month, 2 months of laundry.
Yeah.
Like that's rough.
Yeah.
That just gives you the memory. One Lambo purchase, one Rolex purchase, that's one and done. You forget about it.
Yeah.
If you're doing his laundry and bringing it to the rink every day for the next 2 months, like, you're not going to forget about that. I like that.
That's a good point.
That bright red stick right across the face.
Poor guy.
Brutal.
All right, Ken Belke from Sin Bin Vegas with us as we get you set for game number 4. You can text us 780-218-9999. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends EST is the clear choice for Edmonton sports. Okay, this game tonight, from a Vegas standpoint, what is the focus from Bruce Cassidy? What's the message that he's sending his group, and what do you think we're going to see from the VGK?
Pretty much says the same thing and has been for 3 years. That's funny. Get better. Keep getting better. We have to keep improving as the postseason goes on, improve as the series goes on, as each game goes on. And I think they are doing that inside of this series. I think they've been better from the end of Game 3 than they were at the beginning and middle of Game 1.
Right.
So they are doing that. Are they a lot better than they were in early of the Minnesota series? I don't know. So I do think they need to continue improving, because I think you're going to get a better effort out of Edmonton. And both teams seem very confident. It's odd. In a 2-1 series in Both teams have a bit of goofy wins there. So both teams seem confident. Both teams are feeling good about themselves. I don't know what we're going to get tonight. Like, I'm very confused with what this one's going to look like.
That's the best part of this matchup and rivalry. It's like, I don't know what the hell is going to happen. Like, expect the unexpected.
We haven't got any hatred, really.
Well, I mean, the fans in the Parkway Tavern.
Okay, but
that
I'm talking flashes against the wrist and
that's true.
And, instigator penalties and things of that sort. We got none of that.
I know.
We need a blowout, I think.
Let's get some nastiness going. Yeah. I mean, there's enough guys out there that can do it. So we'll see. What are you looking for tonight, Ken?
I'm interested to see how they deal with the more balanced lineup. Like, I thought the Oilers went to that as the game went on, and I thought Vegas did a pretty good job of it. Like, McDavid got loose a few times, and it wasn't until the end when they put McDavid and Draisaitl back together that they really started pushing and looking like they were going to get that goal.
Yep.
With the more balanced lineup, like, how long does that stick around? How does Vegas match up with it? What D pairs are they looking to get out there in which situations? Do they want Pietrangelo and Hannafin against McDavid? Do they want it against Draisaitl? Like, I think there's a lot to look at on that. And to me, last game was the worst game Edmonton's had depth-wise.
Yeah.
I would argue all postseason.
It was akin to games 1 and 2 against LA, where those were their two weakest games, and the players themselves said we played regular season hockey.
And so in that case, I expect a lot more. So now with a more balanced lineup, expecting more out of that depth, you're going to need more from Pavel Dorofeev, from Tomas Hertl, from other guys down the Vegas lineup. But Nick Waugh had the goal, but aside from that, did not do a ton.
Is it encouraging that 2 of 3 misfits are kind of finding a little bit of a rhythm to get that big goal to win it?
Yeah, Will Carlson's been awesome.
Yeah,
like he's a stud, and like he doesn't get enough credit because he'll have a season where he scores 9 goals. He just did it.
Yeah,
he's not a 43 goal scorer like he was his first season in Vegas. Like, he's not. He's a 20 goal scorer, but he's an elite defensive center. And the crazy thing about him is he doesn't get tired. I've watched him for 8 years. I've never seen him tired. It's nuts. He could be out there for a minute and a half, and he still skates after the puck in the neutral zone the same way. Then he'll dump it in. I'm like, what are you doing? Just go score.
Go do it.
He's like, well, I got a 90-second shift going. He's just really, really a special player. Riley Smith, that was a pretty darn good game for him. I don't know that you're going to get that every single night. Really a good game for him. We'll see what they get out of that. I do think they have, like the Oilers, have a lot of different guys who can have that type of game.
Yep.
But how many will and how many do you get at the same time? That's probably what wins the series. Unless McDavid and Draisaitl have a massive game, which they haven't had yet.
That's what people are looking for from an Oilers standpoint tonight. Ken, always a pleasure. You've got some tendies left over there. Right. Let you mop those up. Game 5, do we give you a shout? You want to hop on? Or game 4, pardon me.
Game 4? This is game 4. Jeez, game 5, I'll be in Chicago if you want me to. Am I coming back for game 6?
Yeah.
Oh, Chicago. Why did I say Chicago?
I don't know why you're going to Chicago.
No,
what a lovely city.
I will not be in Chicago. I'm going back to Vegas. I don't know why I just said that.
Do you hop on for game 5?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, perfect.
Are we not coming on for game 6?
Maybe.
Will there be a game 6?
Maybe. I think we're going 6. I said Oilers in 6, so.
Boy, it's not cheap for me to get back up here.
Oh, my God. We got to get more downloads on your show. We got to get sponsors buying in more.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I know.
WestJet, come on.
They like to gouge.
$1,100 one way?
Yeah.
Come on. What do we do? Who's doing that? Do they not want passengers?
You would think they do.
What are they doing?
We'll talk to them for you, Ken. How's that sound?
Their cookies are good, though.
They are really good. They're very friendly, too.
Yeah, they are.
Ken, book it for Game 5. We'll connect with you there back in Vegas. This has been great. Enjoy those tendies. In the meantime, we're going to go inside the Oilers locker room one more time, hear from Connor McDavid. And when we come back, Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors stops by.
I thought you guys had to ride not to get on the emotional roller coaster. Tough loss like that. Are you better prepared to just kind of let it go and move on to tonight?
I mean, no other choice. I mean, we lost. It happened. Let's move on. Big one tonight.
You look at in game 1, you guys really controlled the game a lot, created a lot offensively. What do you need to do to get back to creating from you'd like to do in game 1?
Yeah, I feel like they've made some adjustments that have been good. I feel like their D are really standing up in the neutral zone, not allowing us to kind of gain entry. They got big D-men that break the puck out well. We've had a tough time kind of sustaining some O-zone time, but I thought last game was maybe a little bit better just with some of the looks that we had. So maybe something to build on.
This has been one of those series where leads aren't safe on either end. I don't know, is it sort of like the first team that figures out how to buckle down with the lead, maybe gains an advantage? What do you see?
I mean, the margins are small. I mean, I think you're hearing that across the league, two good teams that are going at it. Not a lot separating us. One goal game's kind of all over, so we've got to stay dialed in. A couple of mistakes here and there have been costing us.
There's been a lot of own goals on both teams, a lot of series here lately. Is it smart then to just throw pucks at times to the net, but then do you also have to be more cognizant around your own net sometimes because guys are just trying to throw it off the players?
Yeah, I think you're seeing lots of traffic there. That's, kind of this time of year, everyone talks about getting traffic to the net, and I think you're seeing lots of that. As I said before, they got big D-men that don't stray too far away from the net there, so there's a lot of sticks and bodies and skates that it can go off of, and I think you've seen that across the league. Lots of kind of weird ones, weird goals that way. It's kind of the system they play too. They try to keep everything to the outside, and you're gonna have to just throw pucks in there to create some havoc. And
Darnell said yesterday, we'll wake up tomorrow morning, Monday morning, and have a great opportunity to take a 3-1 series lead. I wonder when you woke up this morning if you kind of thought the same thing, that things still look good despite what happened last game.
Another good opportunity today to win a game. I don't know what else to say. The chance to take a 3-1 series lead to Vegas. It's a great opportunity for us.
You have a lot of experience in here. Game management is one of those things you should benefit from with that experience. I feel like that's an area you guys can dial in a bit, like whether it's just decision making at certain points, things along the way.
I thought last game, some things cost us last game, but this group responds well. I would expect the same. It's not an issue that I feel like has plagued us for a while. Obviously one game is obviously we would like a different result last game, but didn't happen, and we'll move on to today and get a big win today.
Do you feel this group still has like their best game in them, like a Game 5 in LA type game in them?
I feel like that, yeah. I feel like it's building. We're getting there. I'd love to see it tonight.
All right, that is Connor McDavid getting set for game number 4 against the Golden Knights. Coach Mike texting in says 97 goes supernova tonight. Oil take a 3-1 series lead. Let's see if that happens as we welcome in the flesh. The voice, Tommy. Voice, he's here. The voice of the Bakersfield Condors, Ryan Holt, good friend. I've known him for a long time, and I'm happy you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
What were you calling yourself this morning? You weren't saying you were the play-by-play voice of the Condors.
Vice President of Courier Services.
Yeah, boy, you were a great courier. you need that third goalie that's healthy to get up here and... What were you bringing? All of his stuff?
Yeah. For those who don't know, Colin Delia has obviously come up from being on vacation. He was on his way to Florida when, got the news that, obviously the Oilers would need another goaltender, for however long just to, play for the Black Aces and, kind of practice and get yourself ready. And got the call that, his gear was still in California, and with, transportation these days and trying to get things across the border and in a timely manner, they decided, hey, would you rather come up as opposed to ship this? I said, absolutely. Thankfully, my wife on Mother's Day said, that's okay.
Yes.
Got the green light, and here we are, ready to enjoy Game 4.
You know what's funny? As I was giving Keith Gretzky credit for getting you up here, and we're hearing from other people say, well, Keith, maybe he kind of got you up here. But...
Well, when you're the tip of the spear, you get to take credit of for everything. The questions go to you, and you get to take credit for everything. Yeah. So it's great.
told you I'd get you up here.
He's been credit to him. He's been looking to get me up here for a long time, and this was a convenient excuse to get me up here, and excited to take in Game 4. I've only been up to Edmonton once, as an Oilers employee and as a member of the Condors. So got to see James Hamlin's NHL debut a couple of years ago. So this is pretty cool. Obviously, a different atmosphere in the playoffs, and this place is ready to go bonkers and should be a cool environment.
It's going to be great in there. You're in for a treat, Holty. And the other thing though is it's too bad it's raining today because the moss pit, it'll probably get a little bit rowdy, but it turns into quite the show.
Yeah. Hey, you have a
like
button.
that? I got my button. Yeah. There. But yeah. So anyway, you're gonna have a great time in there. Okay, Calvin Pickard. I know he's out for the remainder of this series at least, but maybe he's back if the Oilers advance to the next round. Are you at all surprised to see how well he's performed? And guys that you've seen in Bakersfield biding their time, also having success here. What can you say about those guys and Pickard?
You know, for Picks, it's a great story. I think, for him to do what he's done, not only this year, but in years past here with the Oilers. And, he kind of came up as a stopgap, right? When Jack Campbell was, kind of trying to find his game. And then Pickard came in and was a breath of fresh air, I think, for the dressing room. And then obviously, with his play on the ice and, really impressed with the way he's conducted himself. I will say Calvin Pickard is one of the guys that, from our standpoint, he always goes into the Black Aces room, if you will, and goes in and has a cup of coffee in the morning with the guys and, maybe grabs a bite to eat with the guys. And,
I like that.
Those are guys that are, grinding and still trying to get themselves ready for if their name does get called. And we see Ollie Rodrigue now get his name called, and he's going to back up tonight. So, he's a pro's pro is the best description of Calvin Pickard I can come up with. He's a man's man. He's a guy that, you'd probably want your daughter dating, and a guy you'd probably want on your team as well too. He's just that type of person, and credit to him because it's not easy. His road has not been easy. It's been full of bumps and sideways turns and potholes, and yet here he is and a part of a Stanley Cup contending team and a big reason why they are where they are right now.
6-0. A lot of people hoping he gets back in a hurry. Won't happen in this series. We'll see where he's at and if the Oilers advance. So Ryan Holt, play-by-play voice of the Bakersfield Condors, with us here live on location at the Canadian Ice House. Nancito, what do you got for Holty?
Yeah, it's good to talk to you, Mr. Holt. I've chatted with you a few times.
Absolutely.
Coverage of the Condors and all that. But, you've been watching the series. Stuart Skinner taking a lot of heat in these parts for his game as of late. What are you looking for Stu? You saw him play a lot down there in the Condors. We saw it last year. Like, this guy can win games. He can get hot. What do you want to see from him? Like, is there anything that gives you kind of a sign that he's going to be on his game tonight early on when the puck drops?
Well, I think, and this goes back to even his days, with the Condors, is he wasn't, ever really the guy until he was the guy at the end of it. You go back to his early days and, in a 2019 playoff series against San Diego, we used 4 goaltenders. He was the 4th goaltender in that series. He came in game 6 and, I think it was 41 saves on 42 shots. We ended up winning a double overtime and beating San Diego. So this is a guy who's had adversity in his career and, had a great season with us, during the COVID season, a great 21-22. And then obviously he's been full-time in the NHL for the last 3+ seasons. So I think he's been through it all, and I don't think anything phases him. And I think he's gotten himself in a good mindset each and every game. And, I see the stuff about, maybe, his demeanor or trying to read into body language. I think that's his way of locking in. I think so often, especially even early on in his career and in his junior career, he was so hard on himself and so, took everything to heart. I think he's learned to ride the roller coaster here a little bit. And yeah, it hasn't been easy, obviously, to start this postseason. But, this is a guy who, let's face it, the Oilers are looking for 900 tonight, and it's probably in the win column tonight. So get 900, it's in the win column. And I know former Condors goalie coach Sly Rodrigue used to always say, just give me 27 saves on 30 shots. That's 900 every night, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know.
Nancy, go ahead.
Yeah, and just to go away from the Edmonton Oilers, obviously, the Condors just missing out on the playoffs. They went through so many injuries this year. Unfortunate for them. But what did you make of their year? And is there anyone that stood out to you for the Oiler fans that love tracking prospects and guys that are up and coming?
Yeah, I think when you look at the guys that the arrows should be pointing up, they are pointing up right now. You get a kid right now in the other dressing room, here at Rogers and Matt Savoy, who, is knocking on the door and I would expect to be a full-time NHLer next year. This is a kid who, I say kid, he's 21 years old, but, 19 goals this season, tied for the most rookie goals we've ever had, the youngest 19 goal scorer we've ever had in our 10-year existence in the AHL and one of the elite rookie players in the American Hockey League. He did everything that was asked of him at the AHL level this year. And yeah, it led to some NHL work, but I think this was a perfect year for him. And, he's shown himself at the AHL level and to the point where I don't think we see him next year, and that's probably a testament to him. This is a kid with a great head on his shoulders. Offensively, plays a 200-foot game, and I think can kind of slot in a couple different spots. And he's going to make life, I think, a little difficult on some guys going into next year, and maybe on the managers as well too, in terms of how they kind of see things, come July 1st.
I'll ask you this, Holty, because a lot of people are excited about Noah Philp, and they saw him in small spurts. He's up here with the Black Aces as well. What did you see in his progression this year?
Yeah, I think he started out really hot, and I think he, like most guys, have some adversity. I think I'll use the adrenaline rush of the early portion of the season. Got to him, I think, a little bit in maybe December, right? Came down off the NHL high and had a little bit of a lull, but he really picked it up at the end of the year. I thought he was playing really good hockey in March and April and into the postseason. Big body. And again, I think another guy who, if he continues on this path, is likely a full-time NHLer next year, or at least, a three-quarters NHL player next year, just because of his age, just because of his maturity and the role he's going to fill, right? You're looking for a fourth-line center that can kill penalties and provide a little offensive grit. Right shot. Yeah. Has gotten better in the face-off circle, and that's an area that he's worked at all year long. So those are two guys that I think you have to be excited about, and they're going to bring different things, right? Savoy's going to be more of that top six type of role, but, for Phil, he can slot in that fourth line role. And even look at James Hamlin as well, too. He had a career year down in Bakersfield. These are guys that, can fill these roles that, if needed, at the NHL level with Edmonton, and if not, they'll be in Bakersfield. But I think they've done everything that's been asked of them, and that's all you can ask for.
Play-by-play voice of the Bakersfield Condors with us, Ryan Holt, live on location at the Canadian Ice House. What'd you have to eat?
I had the pepper steak bites. They were delicious with the little peppercorn sauce or garlic.
Oh, yeah.
I need a piece of gum, though. I'm sorry for talking.
I got you. I got you. I got some
the
gum.
garlic parm sauce was good, but the fries, I like this ice house. I like the whole red light, ring the goals, the goal light stuff. It's great. Yeah, I think it's a great spot.
Did you see the animatronic moose up there?
I have not.
It's moving its head. If you want, Holty,
nice. I was just noticing all the Art Ross trophies and stuff, too.
They've got everything.
Those. Yeah, that's great.
They've got everything. They've got a high chair here made out of old hockey sticks, too.
I like that.
They do that around here.
Yeah.
If you want, there's beer after.
I've been known to have a couple libations.
Well, let's get you some. Yeah. Holty also very aware of 6 o'clocker lager.
I love 6 o'clocker lager.
Yes.
I'd like to sample. I'd like some product here.
We can arrange that.
That'd be perfect.
Not hard to do. That's for sure.
That'd be perfect.
Last one for you, Holty, because I know you want to check out the hoopla around the rink. They do a good job pumping it up. What kind of hockey do you expect to see tonight? Two really good teams. Craziness happens when these two teams get together.
I think you're going to see the Oilers' best game of the series, I think, tonight. I don't think they, I'll use the word deserved the win the other night. I think it would have been a steal.
Yep.
I think, they're not going to throw two eggs out there. And to be honest with you, if 3-2, or 3-3 with 0.4 seconds left is your egg,
yep,
you got a pretty good hockey team. So I would anticipate the Oilers' best game of the series tonight. I would anticipate, I think the texter said 97 goes off tonight.
Yep.
I think it's a big 97 game. I just saw him walk in on the TV. He's got a different suit on.
Oh.
He's ready to go. I didn't see if Kane came in the Rolls Royce tonight, but if he did, I think he's in for 1-1. I'll go Oilers 5-2 tonight.
Oh, I like it, Holty. I like it. Play-by-play voice and professional courier.
Vice President of Courier Services.
Vice President. That comes with great benefits, I've heard.
Great benefits. So lovely suite at the Sandman, but it's pretty fantastic.
They could put you up at the JW. Could have been at Casa Shea Gazzola.
I would have liked to say with Tommy G. The Sandman's very nice, though.
Yes, it is. They do it good. You're close by. Everything is here. You're in good hands, Holty. I'm so thankful you came on the show today.
Tommy,
always
thanks for having me. Great to see you. Go Oil.
Ryan Holt, play-by-play man for the Bakersfield Condors, VP of Courier Services. I love it. Let's go now to Chris Knoblauch.
Yeah, we'll have some lineup changes. There'll be some game time decisions, but there'll probably be a little switches.
Is that just kind of keep people out of pressure?
I think we have got guys who aren't playing right now that have a lot to offer. Whether we need a little more speed, physicality, defensive responsibilities, or offense, whatever it is, I think we've got some guys that haven't been playing that can come in and give us a little boost. And And we'll be making 1, maybe 2 changes, and hopefully that'll give our team a boost.
They've kind of dictated the last couple. They've had some good moments here in the last couple of games. You guys obviously swing that a little bit. Just a thought on trying to maybe establish your game earlier, because I think it's fair to say the last couple of games Vegas has played pretty well.
Yeah, when starts are very important. I don't think we can establish our play quickly as well as we did last game. We had a 2-0 lead, a lot of offensive zone play. I liked our start. Just unfortunately some mistakes got into our game and changed the momentum of the game. So we need to it's a playoff game. You're playing against good teams at this time of the year, and it's important that we stick with the plan for a full 60 minutes.
You know the numbers, they're the best team off the rush in the league. How important is it, and I know you brought it up with your group, but just to not fuel their transition game?
Yeah, no, it's important. And their D are aggressive. They don't allow entry easily. They don't back off, so that creates a little less room, and you're confronted a little bit quicker. So it's important that, if you're not carrying that puck in, you're depositing somewhere where we can recover it, making it difficult. And even if you don't recover that puck, you're making it harder for them to transition, get it back out, and you just have to play the game. And it's almost it's monotonous, it's tiring, but it's important to play that style of hockey against good defensive teams. And right now there's 8 teams left, and there's not a bad defensive team left. So that's the way the game is right now.
All right, that is Oilers head coach Chris Knoblauch, as I'm joined by my friend and colleague Reid Wilkins inside the Canadian Ice House. Hello, Reid. Rick, how are you?
Good, Top. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. What did you enjoy today?
Salt and pepper wings and Pepsi, or I think they have Pepsi here.
It's Pepsi products,
That's probably, I don't drink a lot of pop, as you know, so I didn't even finish the full glass. That's a lot of pop for me.
Yeah, but you're a hungry boy. I see you dominated.
I'm very hungry by the time I get here.
Okay,
so
good.
I'm grateful that they provide the salt and pepper wings and celery and cucumber and ranch dip.
That's good for you. Ranch dip is always great.
Yeah.
All right, we just heard from Chris Knoblauch there. Reid, Rick, from an Oilers standpoint, what are you thinking tonight after what we saw in that Game 3 loss?
Well, they got to get the puck to the net. I didn't think that they were threatening enough in the offensive zone 2 days ago.
Fair.
I didn't think they were on the inside. I didn't think that the shots were dangerous enough. And then, I thought it was kind of a low event game. I didn't think they defended terribly, but I think they got worn down on some shifts that led to them making a tired change in the second period.
Awful.
And then clearly they botched the last 5 seconds of the game.
Awful.
So, take care of those details defensively, which they've shown they can do. I mean, I know they're not a superb defensive team, but they've shown they can be pretty good at it.
Yep.
But they got to make life more comfortable or more uncomfortable for Adin Hill and some of the Vegas defensemen who are good and do a lot of things well, but that's the playoffs. You got to beat other teams that can do things well. So if Kapanen plays, I guess that's an effort to get some more speed into the lineup, just to maybe transport the puck through the neutral zone and get in on the forecheck. But we had Luke Gazzola on our show today, and he gave some stats from last game, like about slot. I can't remember what they were, but about point shots and screen shots.
Okay.
And the Oilers took very few screen shots.
Well, they pass everything up.
That's what Luke said. Like, why are you going D to D 4 times? Like, there's no rule that's like you have to pass 12 times before you're allowed to shoot.
Right.
And I think that's one thing Vegas is good at. They get a shooting lane and they shoot. And I've noticed they're not always even worried about hitting the net because they think, okay, the shot's going wide. Maybe it gets tipped.
Yep.
Maybe it goes wide and hits the backboards, bounces in front, or bounces somewhere where at least the defensive team has to find it.
Yep.
Right? And then they have to spin around and maybe they lose a check or get discombobulated that way. So the Oilers just got to be busier in the offensive end. They got to get the puck down low and go to work from there.
Riedrich, we're going to get one from Nanso here. Go ahead, Nancito.
What's up, Reed?
Hello, Ernest.
How you doing? So do you want to talk
Good,
about
nice
the Raptors' ninth pick, or what do Elks, or what do you want to get to?
Raptors should
Mike
take Michael Jordan out of North Carolina.
Michael Jordan out of North Carolina. Yeah, great decision.
No, Reed, all jokes aside, of course. Well, we talked about it on your show, but I'll go away from that. You brought it up a bunch of times here with this team, especially in the last two games. They need to be more offensive to go to the net and all that. Do you see it more of an Oiler problem, or what Vegas is doing to the Oilers that they can't get to that front of the net or battle in front of that net?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, it is a Vegas problem because we know they have a good defense, and unlike LA, they pretty much play all their defense. Yep. So it's going to be a little harder to wear them down. They have good length. I mean, they reach with their sticks, and they play very committed. I mean, they're a very relentless team, and they don't beat themselves. But it's also an Oilers problem because of what Tom and I were just talking about. Sometimes, and sadly, sometimes even the depth guys who shouldn't think this way think they got to, be the Globetrotters and make a fancy play for a dunk. So I think when a team commits to that, then they can, when a team commits to defending that way, then they can almost trap the Oilers into thinking like, oh, that lane's not there. I better pass it four more times until we we can dissect the way they're defending the slot. And Vegas is just like, no, stick there. Where are you going to go, buddy? So it's both. I mean, Vegas is very good, but they're not perfect. No. I mean, the Oilers did dominate them in game one. And even though I think Vegas was the better team in game two, I mean, the Oilers still had a lot of scoring chances themselves in that game. The Oilers just really got to come in with that mindset for the entire game, not. I mean, it's the same old thing. Like, simplify it, get the puck in, make Vegas come 200 feet if they do get the puck. Don't give them anything for free. Like Luke had another good stat. The Oilers did not have an odd man rush last game, and Vegas. I think Vegas had 4 or 5. He said
not a single odd man rush. No 2-on-1, no 3-on-2. Vegas, because didn't they have a 2-on-1 that Bush broke up? Yeah, they would have had a couple 3-on-2s. They maybe weren't clean, but they still had the numbers coming into the zone. But that's Vegas, right? Like, this is, and I know I've said negative things about Vegas, but I want people to realize that's also a compliment because of how they play and how committed they are and how confident they are and how difficult they make it. Like, and I said this on my show today, and I'll probably say it about Vegas for the next decade, as long as McCrimmon and McPhee are in charge. Yes.
They have not just found skilled players through the expansion draft, through trades, or now through drafts. They have found competitive, borderline angry, and intelligent players.
Yes.
Like, think how smart Carlson and Riley Smith were on that last play. Recognizing, okay, we can go for it.
Sure.
I don't need, Carlson's like, hey, I can take it deep. I don't need to worry about back checking. And Riley Smith, okay, I'll just skate down the middle of the ice.
Yep.
And be there. And that's why they're a tough out. That's why they're sometimes easy to dislike, but they just do not give you anything. They never go away. And Gazzola said today, Florida and Vegas are I can't remember the word he used, but basically two of the most vicious teams in terms of hitting.
He
thinks the Panthers actually hit to hurt.
I believe it.
So it's complete. It's complete commitment, but the Oilers are capable of it. I mean, the Oilers are a perennial playoff team. They've won a round 4 years in a row. They've been to so they are capable of it. They just gotta have it. They have to have that mindset that we start well, we don't go away.
You mentioned dunking. You know a thing or two about it. I just want to make sure that we all are aware of dunking and your capabilities doing so. And then do the Oilers go back to Vegas with a 3-1 series lead after tonight? What do you think?
I don't know. I'm reluctant to make predictions. I think it's I think this is going to be tough because I do think Vegas is sort of feeling it now.
Yeah.
Now, I know I said this about LA in the first round. But I do think Vegas is a different animal, and they're a more savvy team than LA. But we haven't seen the Oilers' best the last couple of games.
That's true.
We haven't also seen their best, and I think they know that they have another level to get to. I hope that Leon is healthy.
Yep.
And extremely angry.
That would be
because
ideal.
That angry, maybe angry is not the right word, but we've seen that a peeved Leon can also be a very good Leon if he's just got a burr under his saddle, so to speak, because he was quite poor overall last game, especially by his standards. So if Leon comes out and plays one of his highly motivated blank you types of games, that's a good sign for the Oilers.
You. There you go. I forgot. Here's one for you, one for Holty.
What is this?
Gum. And I'm going to need one.
Gum to people now?
Well, Holty asked for some. I forgot.
Breath?
No, I'm going to need one myself. I'm just saying. Can you bring it to Holty because he said he needed one? I'm not insinuating anything. You're a good man, Reed Wilkins.
I'm putting it in my poche.
That is not a word. I'll see you in there. Thanks for doing this, buddy.
Oh, have I dismissed?
You're dismissed.
Thank you, Hernan. Thank you, Tom.
Great work. There you go, Reed Wilkins, host of the Reed Wilkins Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk from 3 to 6 with the glue guy, Jay Milne. He's an absolute beauty. Check him out if you haven't already. All right, we roll along here on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. Tom Gazzola live on location at the Canadian Ice House. Matt Cassian standing by, our game analyst. We're going to get into one thing really quickly before we dive into Game Changers with Cass. We do need to get to game day odds and your game day odds check brought to you by Play Alberta. Make your bets count for you and everyone else with the Play Alberta app with hundreds of player prop bets on the biggest leagues, NFL, CFL, NHL, NBA, MLB, you name it. You're not just playing for fun. You're supporting your province. Play Alberta revenue helps fund programs and services in Alberta. Deposit today with promo code YEG50, YEG50, and get an EST exclusive $50 free bet to get started. Your money line today, Edmonton minus 139, Vegas plus 110. Your puck line, Edmonton plus 150, the VGK minus 250. So money line, minus 139 for the Oil, plus 110 for the Golden Knights. Puck line, plus 150 for Edmonton, minus 250 for the Golden Knights. Check our friends out, playalberta.ca, and get in on the action. All right. Text us, 780-218-9999. We got a few texts to get to as we get set to welcome in Matt Cassian. Tamara, the wig lady, says, Pissy Leon. Pissy Leon on the ice, fantastic. I think that would be a great thing. Rob from the Grove says, good evening, gentlemen. I can't believe they put you guys under the stairs again. We choose to be here. It is good. It keeps you away from everybody. Nobody's asking you for stuff. They're going, what's going on here? So, yes, this is a great broadcast location. Maple Jet, in regard to the question of the night, talking about Arvidsson being out and Kapanen in, says lateral move. Arvidsson wasn't doing anything and doesn't kill penalties. Hoping Kapanen and Pods can keep getting shots in at Pietrangelo and McNabb. Keep grinding them down, says Maple Jet. All right. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Cass is ready to go. Let's get to him now for Game Changers. Game Changers, as always, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Damon Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He's community-driven and understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Cass, how are you, buddy? You doing good?
I'm good. Let me know how the sound is, Matthew. Hopefully you got this.
It sounds like you're underwater right now. Maybe check your mic. We'll get that all sorted out. All right, replug it in. There we go. I'll get to a couple of texts. How about now? Oh, that sounds better. Are we good? Nancito, are we good?
Cass, say something.
Unique New York.
It
sounds a little bit low.
It sounds low on my end, Tom. I don't know if you're hearing something different.
Yeah, it sounds pretty low there, Cass. Can you crank your audio up? Oh, there he is.
We'll give it a little bit.
There we. Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
good.
Much better.
Good volume check on there. I like it. We got it all sorted out. All right, you sound loud and clear, and that gain and that fuzziness is gone too from the other night.
You had to tinker with the settings. That fuzziness was plaguing.
Oh my goodness.
Still don't know what was going on, but we got it sorted. But you know what I do know is going on, Tom?
Tell me.
I do know that the Edmonton Oilers are playing the Vegas Golden Knights, and I do know that as yourself and Reed Wilkins were just talking about, that the Vegas Golden Knights are feeling it now, where they felt they should have won 2 games in a row. Now they only have 1. They're still down 2-1, but they feel all kinds of mo. They're feeling the positive vibes. They're ready to stick it to Edmonton, and we should be in for an absolute battle tonight.
Cass, what do you think of the decision to put Kapanen in and take Arvidsson out? That looks like it is the move. Arvidsson was out super late today during the morning skate. That's an indicator that he is out. He came off the ice with Jeff Skinner. We know Jeff Skinner is not playing. What do you make of that move? That is the question of the night from Hernan.
Yeah, lateral move, fellas. Like, it was Arvidsson really the problem last game? Arvidsson wasn't the reason that Leon Draisaitl really struggled. Arvidsson wasn't the reason that Darnell Nurse was sliding all over the place. Arvidsson wasn't the reason that you gave up a goal with 0.4 seconds left. So a little bit of a lateral move. You get a different look, maybe some different energy, sure. Maybe they're thinking here this is a penalty killing move. Maybe they're like, hey, we got to get better at penalty killing in case we end up in the box again. That really could be it. I don't know how much faster you're going to be. And as we'll talk about in Game Changers, I don't know how much better this makes you in the neutral zone, because Kapanen's not a player that I necessarily trust carrying the puck through the neutral zone. Not that Arvidsson was doing a ton of that, and not that Kapanen's going to have a ton of ice time. But to me, it's kind of that lateral move. It's not like it's a earth-shattering, earth-shaking type of change where he's stepping into the top 6. So, I guess we'll see. Maybe he ends up being the difference. That's kind of how it ends up going, isn't it? We don't think he's going to change much anything, and he's going to be the difference maker tonight.
I think you summed that up very, very nicely. All right, let's get to point number 1 of Game Changers, brought to you by Damon Bunting Real Estate. Paging Dr. Nurse. Paging Dr. Nurse.
Dr. Nurse, like you to show up in this playoffs, please, for a guy that was so good during the regular season. He was just rock solid. Like, if I counted up all the times we had to talk negatively about Darnell Nurse over the course of the regular season, it wouldn't be very many. Like, there was very few games that he struggled. But Tom, he has really struggled in the playoffs. And I wonder if some of that is just feeling the pressure all of a sudden. And with Ekholm out of the lineup, where he feels he has to be the difference, or he's got to make the play, or he's got to be the one. But he is absolutely struggling. And it just, the 2 sliding plays to me last game kind of sum up how his playoffs have been, where it's just a little bit out of control, sliding a little bit out of position, ending up with the puck a little bit in the back of your net. That's what Darnell Nurse has been so far in the playoffs. And he's a guy that they need to be better. They need him to be better. They need him to be solid. Darnell Nurse isn't a guy that, and I'm not a big, as you know, not a huge analytics guy. I like analytics to help me explain what happened and to make sure to verify that what I'm seeing is correct. And when there's a disconnect, I'm like, okay, it helps me go back and watch and reevaluate to see if what I was actually thinking I was seeing is happening and where the statistical disconnect is. But Darnell Nurse, I mean, the analytics aren't good and the stats aren't good either. And when I'm watching it, I'm like, it's also not good right now. Like, he has really been struggling and needs to find a way to turn it around. Absolutely needs to find a way to turn around for a team that has struggled at times to keep the puck out of its net, that's struggled on the penalty kill. Darnell Nurse has not done a good enough job this playoffs of being the guy. Now, I don't want him to try to be the guy. What I want him to do is I want him to go out there and just play steady. Just play steady. Don't try to do too much, Darnell. Don't slide all over the place and try to take away everything in motion on your belly. Like, just play your lanes, get good stick on puck, aggressive out, aggressive back in. And when he does that, he's just fine. But if for the Edmonton Oilers to win back some momentum here in this series and to come out and play a better Game 4 than they did a Game 3 or even a Game 2, Darnell Nurse has to be one of the main guys leading the charge, at least on the back end. Really, really important that Darnell Nurse finds his game and finds it quickly.
That's a totally fair point. Nurse, by the way, through 9 games this postseason, 2 goals and assists, -3. He's taken 2 penalties for 4 minutes, 23 shots, 25-13 time on ice, and 20 hits with 23 block shots. But the flopping around, I know, drives a lot of people crazy, especially Joaquin Gage. And I think you and I, Cass, and Nanso included, also would say, what are you doing? Stay on your feet. So let's see if he cleans it up tonight. All right, that was point number 1 on Game Changers, paging Dr. Nurse. Point number 2, game time decision. Cass.
Yep, Mark Stone, game time decision. Listen, heartbeat guy for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's not quite as offensively potent as he has been in the past this season. Anyways, you've had a lot of injuries. You're dealing with a lot of surgeries and back problems and this and that. But he is still the heart and soul of this Vegas Golden Knights team. That's why he wears the C. That's why he's a big part of it. Now, they get a boost with him coming back into the lineup. They got a boost, I think, with him being out of the lineup for the rest of that game when he had to leave the game. I think that actually helped the Golden Knights, and that mentally they were just like, hey, we got to pick it up. We got to go. It really drove them forward. And heading into this one, just from the sounds of it, because I'm assuming he's going to play. Looks like, I know they said game time decision. Looks like he's going to play. And with him stepping into the lineup, I think that's a big emotional boost that this Vegas Golden Knights group is going to get. He still can bring some offense, but from a rallying cry and an emotional standpoint, I think a big part of the team. We'll see ultimately if he does go. I'm assuming, much like Pietrangelo the other night, he skated in the pregame skate. That means he's going. We will see him. If he was that questionable, he would just go out for warmups, and they'd see, like, they wouldn't test it this morning. They put him out for warmups to see how it is. So my assumption is he goes. Now on the Edmonton Oilers side, you already brought it up a little bit, but that we'll see in a little bit here. But that game time decision of Victor Arvidsson stepping onto the lineup, just reiterate. Kind of a lateral move to me. Feels like you're just changing something to change something mentally to move on, to adjust, to tweak. It's the easiest, well, maybe not the easiest player to take out, but player that maybe hasn't done as much as others. And so Victor Arvidsson, also a game time decision, unless he is actually injured, which I don't think he is. I think they're just trying to switch something up.
He was. He seemed to be okay. He took the full practice and then some this morning. All right, it is Game Changers with our game analyst, Matt Cassian, brought to you as always by Damon Buttigieg Real Estate. Point number 1, paging Dr. Nurse. You just heard point number 2, game time decision. We anticipate Mark Stone good to go for tonight. And point number 3, Cass, neutral zone success.
Yep. Area they struggled with again in game 3 was first getting the puck with control into the neutral zone and then exiting the puck with control out of the neutral zone. Like, those blue lines were an absolute struggle for the Edmonton Oilers. Both the forwards and the defense did a not nearly good enough job of either exiting the zone or gaining the zone with control. Like, it felt like they were either just coming to a standstill, or when they received the puck close to the blue line, there was just someone in their face and nowhere to go, and they just kind of had to chip it and turn the puck over, ultimately to the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the Vegas is doing a very good job, and they did later in the game where they kind of shifted and sat back more into that 1-3-1 a little bit more defensively in the game. But overall, I still think it ultimately comes down to Edmonton's defensemen's inability to get the puck to the forwards low and with speed. We saw them do it in game 1 frequently, all the time. And they were able to quickly transition the puck, get it going north the other way. Edmonton had speed through the neutral zone and grossly outchanced the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, they haven't got back to that game. And that neutral zone to me is just so important, where even when they had it in the neutral zone, and we can look at like Draisaitl's turnover that ended up in the back of their net. Yes, he turns it over. He also didn't have any support. Like, he had nowhere to pass to.
Yeah.
So he was kind of on an island by himself trying to go through everybody. And it really seems like that's where Edmonton has been a majority, or at least last game, a majority of that game was anytime in the neutral zone. It's like they either had nowhere to go or they were just by themselves. So cleaning up that neutral zone execution, bringing in some better support. So forwards, make sure you're getting underneath, making yourself available as an option, either in a quick chip or those 6 or 7 foot passes to try to break how Vegas is trying to sit back. Super important to this game tonight.
Nancito.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for lineups, Tom. We're 15 minutes out and nothing yet. I mean, we're pretty sure it's going to be Kapanen and Stetcher in, so
yes,
not too worried about that. Cass, why it's interesting when we talk about starts for the Oilers. Like, they started good last game. They were up 2-0. They were playing well. That first goalie gains kind of, flipped the game for Vegas. What what do you want to see in this start? Because we've seen it all. We've seen them go down early. We've seen them go up early. And it almost seems that when they're down, they play a lot better than when they have a lead early on. But what do you want to see from this team early on? And more specifically, what do you want to see from the goaltender here to give you some sort of feeling that that he's confident in there? Yeah,
great question. I would say, though, Hernan, I don't think they were great at the start of last game.
Okay.
Like, I thought they turned a lot of puck. They got the lead. You had a couple good shifts where you're able to get the lead, power play where you're able to go up. So they did enough to go up. And I had really thought at that point, I'm like, okay, now they're going to start firing all cylinders. They got the momentum, the crowd's into it. They got a couple goals. They can push here. But it was Vegas that pushed on the other side of it. What do they have to do? I just go back to what I just talked about. I think they have to find a way to have success through the neutral zone, because it just ate them up so horribly last game. I think as a whole, as a team, you have to do that. And for Stuart Skinner, what has to happen? Well, you'd like to see him make the first couple of saves.
Yeah.
Even if they're not easy ones, like just get through the first 4 or 5 saves, like just and hopefully not scrambly ones, like just make good, clean, well-positioned saves and no panic. That's what I would like to see from him. Now we'll have to see. The Oilers also have a tendency to give up that grade A chance early on in the game. So we will really have to see, but I am hoping that Stuart Skinner can not feel his way into it, but just have a chance to make a couple routine saves before you're asking him to make the big one.
Because Tommy, I think you said it on post game that you felt in that game that everything that went towards the net, like it was you had a bad feeling, right?
Yeah, it was like when Jack Campbell was in net any time.
No, that was worse.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cass, you and I were sitting here. I remember that game where Campbell had to go in against the Kings, and we were on location here at the old shop, and every time the puck was funneled towards the net, he ended up making the save in that game, but I'm like, we looked at each other like, that one had a chance. That one he got lucky, he got a piece of. And I almost felt the same way about Stu in game number 3. Do you guys have faith in him to find some form and consistency?
I'm hoping so. I mean, there's some there. There's some there. Last game didn't build my confidence in it. Like I still think Stuart Skinner's a good goaltender. Ultimately, I do think he's your starter, but I think there's a confidence issue right now, and he hasn't played well in the playoffs. So is there still hope there? Yes, there is. He just may need a little bit of support, extra support from a team standpoint to help get him there. Like I think you can get that confidence and momentum rolling. You got to play for him first, and we'll see if they do. That'll be and I know you shouldn't have to ask that, right? You don't want to ask that, but I kind of feel like you have to.
Hernan, where are you at with Stu Skinner?
Yeah, you know what? He's still like. Don't get me wrong. He's obviously fighting it. He's struggling, but he did make some big saves at 3-2, at 3-3. So. We've seen him do this before. We've seen them kind of struggle and then fight back. So, for the Oilers and their fans, I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping he's able to find his game. And listen, I'm not sitting here asking for a shutout or 1 goal game. Just win tonight, be solid, give your team a chance, and start from there, right? Like one step at a time. So just make that big save that Pickard was giving the team, and you'll be fine. Because knowing how this series has gone, guys, we're going to probably see 3-4 goals per team. So in that sense, like Skinner, just play solid, make the big save, late in the game and pick up the dub. I think a W, regardless if he lets 1 or 4 in, is going to go a long way for him.
I want to flow one more to you guys and our listeners and viewers too. Do you think game 3, with how they lost, the way things went, do you see it as a wake-up call for them? I described it as a wake-up call, and that now, okay, we're seeing a few tweaks to the lineup. It should sharpen them up. We expect Draisaitl to be way better. Do you think it was a necessary wake-up call after 6 come-from-behind victories? Some games they probably should not have won. Do you think it's a good thing? Nanso, we'll start with you and then go to Cass.
Yeah. I talked it off the hop. Like, I think it's a good little kick in the, you know what? Because like we said, 6 wins in a row and probably 2 games there that you didn't deserve to win, but you won. So it's going to catch up to you, and it's a nice reminder to them. You got to start playing the right way, hone in on the details, be better defensively, stop turning the puck over, and go from there. We do have lines, Tom, and Oh, people are going to be pumped about these.
Okay, Cass, answer, and then let's take a look at the lines.
All right. I would rather have not learned that lesson and won the hockey game and be up 3-0. I mean, that's the bottom line for me.
I get that.
Yeah, I would rather have them not had to learn the lesson. I'm hoping that they use it as a wake-up call on that, because it isn't sustainable to be down and to chase every single game. But it would have been nice for them to win that one too. Be up 3-0.
All right, Nat, so far away with the lines.
Okay, not a lot different than what we saw this morning, but RNH with McDavid and Hyman. Draisaitl between Kapanen and Podkolzin. Kane with Henrique and Brown. Frederick, Janmark, Perry. Kulak with Bouchard. Wallman with Klimberg. Nurse with Stetcher.
Okay. I'm going to start with the D, and then I'll let Cass absolutely shred the forwards. I like Kulak with Bouchard. Maybe he helps stabilize Bouchard, although Bouchard, out of him and Nurse, has, I think, been better defensively than Nurse this series. Nurse, some familiarity with Stetcher, so I get it, and Wallman and Klingberg continue to be steady. Cass, what do you make of the forwards?
Oh, man, that's a little bit different. I think you're looking at this and going, okay, we're going to drag Leon into it maybe a little bit from a physicality standpoint. I think that's what you're looking at, really. I think you're sitting there saying, like, let's put some guys that maybe are going to play a little bit more physical to get Leon to simplify his game and hopefully pull him in one. Or maybe he's just feeling pissy, and this is your way of saying, okay, he's pissy. Let's get some guys that are going to play a pissy type of hockey game.
Play pissy. I don't care. If he's mad and motivated and he's moving his feet and he's making things happen positively, great. Fantastic. Because last game was a prime Leon Draisaitl, not feeling it. Cass, I don't know if you caught it earlier. It was reiterated to me today by someone else. I said it on the post game that I was told that Leon's not actually dinged up. And whatever had been bothering him late in the season isn't really bothering him now. Sure, maybe bumps and bruises here and there. But someone brought it up to me again today, and this was a different person, said, no, he's not hurt. So there's that.
There is that.
All right, Cass. Do you think we're talking about this Oilers team with a 3-1 stranglehold on the series, or is it even up going back to Sin City?
I have no idea. I don't know what version of the Oilers we're going to get, what Leon Draisaitl we're going to get, what Darnell Nurse we're going to get, what Evan Bouchard and Kulak we're going to get. We will have to see. Maybe Kapanen makes all the difference, but I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful right now.
Yeah.
But I would like to answer that question 5 minutes into this game after I see what type of team the Edmonton Oilers are.
Unfortunately, we will not be on the air 5 minutes into the game, but here's a text that kind of is in line with what you are saying. Sean says, I just want to say, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for game 4. It's going to happen regardless. I'm just not emotionally or spiritually ready. Go Oilers, from Sean. I think a lot of people feel that way. Like it's like a panic-inducing situation every time the Oilers are on the ice. People are living by the seat of their pants or watching by the seat of their pants vicariously through the Oilers, and everybody's emotionally involved and drained by the end of the night, whether it's a win or a loss. I think a little more energy when they win. This place, if this place had witnessed an Oilers win on Saturday, it would have been rowdy. It got quiet pretty quickly here at Ice House and then in and around the district as well after that loss in the dying seconds of the game. All right. Cass, great work as always, my friend. The mic sounds lovely. Did you get your new service provider as well?
Yeah, well, we had no connection issues, right? So it
was clean.
Seemed to be rolling.
Clean as a whistle. We'll keep the good times going. Yeah, keep the good times going on the post-game show. Great stuff from you today, my friend. I look forward to catching up with you in about 3 hours.
Sounds good, buddy.
There's our game analyst, Matt Cassian, with Game Changers. All right, Nat, so some final thoughts from you as we head into Game 4 here.
Yeah, I like kind of what Cass had to say about Draisaitl. They're dragging him into this one. He likes playing with Podkolzin. I don't know how long that line lasts, Tom. To be honest with you, we'll see what happens. I like the shift on defense. Nurse and Bouchard were not working. That's a good call. Again, we'll see how long that lasts. And Stetcher's going to be ready to go, motivated. He's a veteran guy who's been waiting to get in. He unfortunately got injured towards the end of the season and was a regular at that point, but had to wait his time. Now he's in, so let's go. My eyes are on the start and on Stuart Skinner tonight, Tom. We'll see what happens in about 4 hours what we will be talking about. Oh, that's too long. 3 hours. Sorry.
Okay, I'm going to give the last word to Mark from Arizona. Says, hey, guys, I don't love Kapanen in for Arvidsson, but will Kapanen actually get pucks deep and actually battle for that puck, or will he skate it to no man's land and be one of those guys that goes one and done, as he always seems to be good at doing? I'm liking that tie, Tommy. Go Oilers. That's from Mark in Arizona. A shout out to VR Montenegro, Corey B, Cal in the Park, Sarah, and I think it was Patrick earlier, and awesome that they came out. I owe them around. I'm going to send one over to them as they're going to enjoy the game here at the Ice House. A huge thank you to Ken Belke from Sinbin Vegas, Ryan Holt from the Bakersfield Condors, as well as Reed Wilkins, and for Matty Cassian and Hernan Salas, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy Game 4 between the Oilers and Golden Knights. We'll catch you on the post-game show. Ciao for now.